Hello, welcome back to NPC Stories. We are mixing things up this week. Instead of just giving you some NPCs to work with, I'm going to show you my creative process of making NPCs. It may work for you, it may not work for you, we'll find out. I'm doing this for 3 different reasons. One, I've been considering doing it for a long time, and episode 25 just seemed like a nice mile marker. 2, the awful monk on Twitter asked me to do so, and I like to answer your requests, because I am a people pleaser. 3, I am moving and starting grad school soon, which means I might not have time to do these videos anymore, and I still want you to be able to make awesome NPCs for your campaign. So, without further ado, let's turn this camera around and make an NPC. So, the NPC we are making today is for a one-shot that I made for 2 of my player characters, Laushin and Grayson, because they have met in the past, but we never hashed out the details of that, so I have this ready for them in case they ever want to play it. Silas Oceanbone, the Lion of Sussex at the Black Blade and Bloody Bloor Tavern, is the character we're going to be creating today. What is a Lion of Sussex? That is a member of the Mousers, the Mousers being the Thieves Guild in this land. Lions are considered seconds. They run the City Guild when the Saber isn't around. The Saber being the leader of the guild, his name is Malik, and he is super awesome. So, let's get started. First thing we need is, this is the city of Sussex. These are all of the NPCs that I created to put in that city. We have name, status, which is usually just where they are, race, hair, eyes, skin, age, height and build, appearance, personality. Sometimes when I'm feeling extra motivated, I'll mention something about their voice, or their motivations, or their goals, or sometimes I'll write a full backstory, or what their class is. Obviously, I don't always do that, and I tend to lose my motivation about halfway through. Anyway. Ursa Tea Leaf, you've met her before, and these guys down here are random NPCs. You can see they're numbered 1 through 6, so that if my player characters ever are like, we grab a person, we ask directions, I can roll a d6 and be like, 2, you meet Yenny Heartlash. She has white hair, yellow eyes, dark brown skin, is 35 and very short, with a lot of tattoos. Alrighty, so we're making Silas Oceanbone today. As I said, he is going to be at the Black Blade. In Sussex, there are generally 4 different races. There's humans, there's high elves, there's wild elves, which are the Rava, and there are gnomes. Wild elves make sense because he's going to be a Thieves Guild person, but I'm going to assume that Silas and Malik are pretty tight, and Malik lives in Valtower where there are no Rava, which means that Silas has to be a human, a high elf, or a gnome. I don't want him to be a gnome today because I've done enough gnomes, which means high elf or human. I'm going to go with human. Hair. Sometimes I know what I want a person to look like, and I will just write that in here. Sometimes I don't, and so I use this hair and eye color and skin table and just roll on those because I like randomness and I think it improves creativity. So I already rolled these out. I got a 6, which is black hair, a 7, which are amber eyes, and a 77, which makes him lightly tan. We said black hair, amber eyes, and light tan skin. Age. Silas and Malik, as I said, are probably pretty tight, and Malik is 38 years old. So we want Silas to be around his age, maybe a touch older, because that's the kind of super awesome reputation I want Malik to have. So we'll make Silas 40. Height, I will roll on the table in the player's handbook, and he came out to be 6'4", because why not? So he is obviously pretty tall. I'm thinking if we want this guy to be leading people, he should be kind of big, but he's also got to be kind of sneaky. Maybe he's not sneaky. Maybe he's just like a walk up to you and kill you kind of person. Let's make him broad with muscle, if I can spell it. Appearance. Obviously, as a thief, he's going to have lots of scars. And he'll probably have a lion tattoo. Yeah, let's go with that. Scars and a lion tattoo. Personality. Malik is very charismatic and very insightful. He's very good at reading people. Everybody is like drawn to him or entranced by him. So I want Silas to be kind of the back burner to that. I want Silas to be the one that everybody overlooks, that nobody really likes, and that's why Malik became the leader rather than Silas. So, Silas is serious. Oh, my spelling. Silas is serious. He is probably just like doesn't talk to people very much. He prefers silence. Good lord. Prefers silence and has no sense of humor. I swear normally I can spell. Has no sense of humor. Let's make it, instead of no sense of humor, let's make it an inappropriate sense of humor. Because that is going to be more fun to roleplay with my players. He's just going to laugh at inappropriate things. I'm really excited. Alrighty, so now we have the general character laid out here, which means that we need to make a character sheet for him. We can't use my character sheet today because this computer does not have Word on it. It has WordPad, and obviously WordPad does not support all of the features as documents formats. So it looks like a jumbled massacre of doom. So we're not using that. Instead, we're going to use this, which I will link down in the doobly-doo. It is awesome. You get to choose which sources you want to use for this. So it generally defaults to all of the official sources, all of the Adventures book, and all of the Adventures League stuff. And then you can pick whatever Unearthed Arcana you want to put in there as well. So I usually pull all of the feats, and then I want to make this guy an Arcane Archer because I have never made one before, and I want to use the revised one. So I'm going to pull that in there, and then you apply it, and you twiddle your thumbs for a minute. Oh, it did it really fast, actually. Silas Oceanbone. The human. Level. So Malik's character sheet says that he is a 14 rogue. He's a level 14 rogue. Malik's second, his lion in Val Tower, is named Helena, and she is a level 10 in total. She's 6 bard and 4 assassin because she's awesome. She's level 10. So we want Silas to sit somewhere between 10 and 14 because we want Silas to be better than Helena because otherwise Malik would have sent Helena to Sussex, but we don't want him to be as good as Malik. Or we could make him better than Malik, and Malik only got it because of his charisma. But I'm thinking that Silas is a not so nice person, and so Silas would have just taken it from Malik if he was actually stronger. So we'll just average it out and go 12. Alrighty, I have 12 total levels, so I want to use all 12 of those levels to make him a fighter. Because we established that I wanted an Arcane Archer. Look, Unearthed Arcana, revised subclasses. It's so cool. You give it a second to apply everything, and it will tell you that I have 4 additional ability score improvements. Thanks, character sheet, for letting me know. So background, we want him to be a criminal. Did I stutter? Oh, no, that's not what I wanted. Although a courtier would be really interesting because politics here are a super big deal. Gives him insight and persuasion. Yeah. Okay, he's gonna be a courtier. So, human race. If we scroll way down on this page, it'll be like human, +1 to all ability scores. Or I can be like, nah, I want to be a variant human because why would I be anything else? So I get a +1 to 2 different ability scores of my choice, I gain proficiency in 1 skill of my choice, and I gain 1 feat of my choice. Obviously, I want him to be a sharpshooter because he's an Arcane Archer and anything else is dumb. Sharpshooter. Not Savage Attacker, but so close. I get to choose his fighting style. I think it's gonna be archery. And then eventually I will choose his shots, but I want to handle his ability scores and skills first. So as you can see, because I'm a fighter, it already filled in all of my armor, weapon proficiencies. It's like, hey, you know all of these languages. So for my human skill, I want it to be stealth. And then, yes, if you hover, you can see human, choose any one skill. I show stealth. Courier, I get insight and persuasion. Fighter, I get to choose 2. I'll probably do acrobatics and intimidation. Acrobatics and intimidation. And then, because I'm an Arcane Archer, I get to choose Arcana or Nature. I'm choosing Arcana because nature is for elves. His ability scores. I actually already rolled up numbers because I didn't think you wanted to sit here and listen to me roll dice and do math for a million years. So I rolled a 12, 8, 17, 13, 14, and 14, which are pretty good numbers, so I am happy with that for Silas, as he is supposed to be an awesome leader dude. So 17 is obviously going to go in his dexterity, because that is the most important thing for him. We established he wasn't very charismatic, so that's where the 8 will sit. 14, I think he should be fairly intelligent since he's an arcane person, and I also like high constitutions. So I have a 12 and a 13 left, 1 for strength and 1 for wisdom. I think a 13 for his strength and a 12 for his wisdom. And then I get my 2 from being a human, so I'm going to bump up his dexterity, and I'm going to bump up his strength. And then I also have those 4 ability score increases or feats left. So 1, 2, I'm going to go grab another feat for him. 3, I think I'm going to make him... kind of want to make him super intimidating. Oh, human determination. Yes, human determination. This is from the Unearthed Arcana feats. I have 1 more ability score increase left. I'm going to bump his charisma up. No, I'm not. I like it there. So I'll just increase his wisdom a little bit and his strength a little bit, so that it's like a super helpful number that doesn't do anything. So his armor, because he has +5 to his dexterity, we are going to go with studded leather, because why not? He needs an HP. So you can set this, you can make it his total average HP, the total maximum HP, or the total when using fixed values, which is usually what I do. So bam, 100 hit points. He's got his armor. Languages. He gets some new languages. Gnome and Elven are the 2 biggies in this city, so he should probably speak those. He gets 1 more, since he is supposed to be like Malik's best bud. Malik is a fallen Aesimer, so maybe he taught some Celestial to Silas. Oh, Thieves' Cant. Ha! Let's make sure he knows Thieves' Cant. Let's also make sure he knows how to use Thieves' Tools. That is that. Attack name, he uses a longbow, since he is an arcane archer. Ba-bam. These are all of his features for his class. I need to choose his arcane shots. He gets 4 of them. You can use 2 times per short rest. I already looked at these and picked out what I want, because I didn't think you wanted to listen to me read about what these were. So I picked the Brute Bane Arrow, which does extra damage. It's telling me it put it on a different page. The Grasping Arrow, because Thieves and Assassins want to grab people. The Seeking Arrow, because it literally just finds and kills people. And the Shadow Arrow, because that just sounded really cool, honestly. So it put all of those down here and tells you how all of them work. And you'll see it says he needs to make a wisdom save. Because I made him an arcane archer, this knows that I need an intelligence save DC for that, and it put it right here for me. And then if I wanted to put in more, I can add a second DC, but I don't need to, so I won't. So it looks like all we really need to do, we already did all of this. He's a male. We decided he was 40. We decided he was 6'4". We decided he was broad and muscular. Alignment. I think that Silas follows Malik. I think that Malik is kind of Silas's like guiding light, but he is inherently evil. He's in this for, he's greedy, and he just wants everything for himself, and he's angry with the world, but Malik has been good to him, and Malik has set up these rules for him, so he follows him. His hair was black, his eyes were amber, and his skin was a light tan. Bam. There. You can write any notes on appearance down here, so like I said, he has scars and a lion tattoo. We need some personality on this guy. So, things to know about Sussex and Preywind and this place where they are. Magic is basically forbidden. It's super outlawed. You need a very special license to use it. So, we established he was previously a courtier. If a lord began to use magic illegally, they would be stripped of their titles and basically stripped of all their wealth and everything, and it would be awful. So, that's a good way for Silas to end up on the street. So Silas was a courtier who was sent onto the streets. Malik found him there when they were both very young. and together they survive with the Thieves Guild. And that is why he is super loyal to him. So Silas is loyal to Malik first, and the Mousers Thieves Guild second. Silas is super greedy. And always wants more, / never thinks he has enough. The cool thing about this is that if I click on add features, it'll let me pull from the book essentially. So I can be like, he's ideally greedy. And be like, I'm only in it for the money, which sounds pretty accurate. And personality traits. So Silas, we established that he's not very good with people because he has low charisma and everybody loves Malik better. So Silas, why? Why do they do this? Silas was a courtier, now he belongs to the Thieves Guild. Silas, he's an inappropriate sense of humor. Silas overcompensates for his proper manners he learned at court by being crass and rude in his mannerisms and speech. That's why no one likes Silas. It all makes sense now. Silas thinks he's awesome. Silas thinks he's the best shot to ever shoot anything, ever. Silas is very proud. Silas overcompensates for his good manners. He tries really hard to fit in. I think Silas might have reached the point where he doesn't care what anybody thinks, as long as he has power and money. Yeah. Silas doesn't care what others think of him, as long as he has power and money. Bam, 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 bam. Anyway, history. So, Silas was a courtier. He somehow learned magic, fell into the streets, Malik found him, and they became part of the Thieves Guild. So, Malik was a courtier, he was an archer. He was the best archer. He was winning all of the tournaments and felt like there was nothing left for him to learn. So, he decided to supplement his archery with magic. So he goes to some back alleys, some dark people, wizards who aren't supposed to be doing wizardry, learns some arcane magic, uses it in the next tournament, and gets caught. As an unlicensed person using magic, he is stripped of all of his titles, all of his wealth, all of his money, and sent to the streets, the slums. Silas, being a fancy courtier, knows nothing about the streets and basically almost dies, until Malik, child Malik, who's 2 years younger than him, finds him, saves him, brings him into the Mousers, and they learn to survive there. Malik eventually becomes the leader, and since Silas is the one person that he trusts-ish, he made him the Lion of Sussex. And that is how we make NPCs here at NPC Stories. It's not a real structured system. It's more of like a free-flowing, whatever happens kind of situation. Like, I meant to click criminal and I ended up with courtier, and here we are. It's a much more interesting background, actually. And he's an arcane archer because I wanted to make an arcane archer. I think they're cool and I haven't done one yet. So when I made Malik, I just was like, yeah, I haven't done an ASMR yet. Let's make an ASMR. I want this guy to be able to see into your soul. So he's an inquisitive rogue. And we made Helena because one of my friends and I were talking about how whips are really cool, but super ineffective since they only ever give you 1d4. And they're not light, like daggers. So I was basically just doing my best to make whips awesome. So I used the College of Swords, but instead of swords, I did a whip. So it's really just like whatever I think sounds cool, or whatever happens. A lot of the times these ability scores kind of determine who this character is in the end. Like, I knew off the bat that I wanted Silas to be less charismatic because Malik was so charismatic, but apparently he's also smarter than Malik. But less wise. Which may come into play. I don't know. Maybe Silas will decide that being the lion isn't enough. He wants to be the saber and he's going to try to kill Malik. I don't know. That'd be interesting. Betray his one friend. He is evil. We shall see. That's how we make NPCs here. Thanks for tuning in. Back to you. Me.
As always, I hope this was somehow helpful or inspiring to you. You can let me know by liking this video or following me on Twitter. As I said, I am moving and starting grad school, which means that I don't think I'm gonna have time to make more videos for you folks. I will hopefully still have time to DM my campaign, so if I continue to do that, I might still put up character sheets on my Twitter every once in a while. But we shall see what the future holds. But I did want to thank you all for all of your support and love throughout this project of mine, and I really, really hope that something helped you somewhere, and that these NPCs came into your world and made it better. Bye!